My name is Tom Ferguson. I'm the founder and CEO of Rise Southern Biscuits and Righteous Chicken. Yeah, we launched Rise on November 30th, 2012. We weren't sure what we were going to do when we first opened it, but we knew we would either open more stores that we owned or we would franchise. And 2 years into it, FranceSmart came to us and asked if we wanted to franchise. So we went and met with Dan and had a 3-hour meeting with him, and he told us exactly how it was, and we decided to sign on. So that was in 2014. We currently have 16 locations open. 3 of them are corporate stores and 13 are franchises. You know when you know there's a problem. That's not the hard part, identifying it. The hard part is making the commitment to tear it down and build it back up. That's the hard part. And that's the part that, put a lot of mental strain on me. So I had a breakdown during this time because of that, or I say that partly due to that. And it was that not knowing what to do, but you had to do something. And then I've been on autopilot for a long time in my professional career. And now I actually really had to do some hard work and really determine what is this that this company needs to be successful. Yeah, it was just visiting stores and seeing the product, not the same store to store. It was really not what we had done at the beginning. And I didn't put as much emphasis on my impact on that, because when we opened, I was one person away from telling someone what to do that was actually done. And so I could teach and train and adjust stuff as we went. And I had a manager that I had a great relationship with too, who's now a partner of mine. So in those cases, I want to go in and do a braised brisket biscuit. I know how to braise meat. A lot of people don't know how to braise meat. Plus, the amount of staff that the original Rise took was just astronomical. We really had to cut that down a lot too. Rise performed well in a small venue, a small footprint. And we started it that way because I had looked at other restaurants when I was doing it. I did a lot of research around the country. And you would see a restaurant with a line out the door, but they're waiting for a table. So that line moves really slow. You see one that's working at the cash register and putting food in a bag, and you see that line goes really fast. It doesn't take you long to figure out. You can make more money when you're putting it in a bag and sending it out the door. But we would get franchises in that were determined that they really wanted to have a place to sit down and create that atmosphere and have people eat in the store. Well, that never really paid off. It was always a small footprint that's done really well. So getting back on track with that smaller footprint is really important, I think, moving forward, especially with the third-party delivery and the online ordering. And we're bringing a locker system into our store here shortly, beginning of the year, so that people come in and go locker and get their food out and take it. So we're evolving really fast to a smaller footprint. And I think that that's what I knew when things were getting out of control. These bigger spaces really weren't what we are. People like to go get Rise food and take it home and be the hero at home. And I really wasn't sure what to do at first, and kind of like, oh shit, what do I do now? So, I had a chef back in the day who said, when in doubt, just cook. So I went and worked in the stores for 6 months and evaluated what we were doing. And we changed the cooking techniques we use. We changed equipment needs. We trimmed down the menu. We adjusted a lot, and we kind of did that over a little bit over a year period until I got a little bit more comfortable with it. And then we had to say, okay, what's the future look like? We've been going to a lot of seminars and reading a lot of articles and books, and we realized it was moving towards delivery and online ordering. So we leaned into that, back when it was kind of scary, when you're looking at giving away 25% of your sale to a third-party delivery company. It looked scary to make the numbers work when the numbers weren't working that great at that point anyways. Through the history, we had only taken orders through a cashier. So it took about a minute and a half to put it in order, and you could put it in, and we had 2 cashiers. So one order would come in every 45 seconds, and the kitchen could keep up with that, and then we just pass it out to the customer. That's a total different model when we start looking at third-party delivery or online ordering, because then you have orders coming in from 4 different delivery platforms, from our online platform, and then from the 2 kiosks in the store. So we went from just cash register to all these different platforms bringing food in. So it changes the pace. So came a lot of technical stuff and a lot of third-party tech companies that we had to rely on at one point, that now our POS system, Revel, really incorporates a lot of those now. So it's coming every day, it's getting closer to being one point of contact for us. So we made these changes right around the last changes we made were in February of 2020. And then the virus hit in March, and we were in perfect position for it. Where we had all our delivery, third-party delivery platforms went straight into our POS, which made the efficiency of putting it out a lot easier. We had figured out how to handle donuts. And donuts is hard because you can run out of donuts with one customer, and you can't put an inventory on third party. So we had to work around that a lot of ways. But anyways, we were on track for this virus, and then we made a few tweaks once the virus happened. We went to kiosk only ordering in our store, no cashiers. We just started doing curbside at our stores. So now people feel really safe in our environment. We weren't having a bunch of contact with employees. The spaces where you were getting in and out really quickly. So we abide by all the rules that were put in place in the different areas that we're in. So it feels like a safe place to order food. It's a great comfort food, especially in this type of climate, everything that's gone on over the last year. And it's very profitable in this format. It was really difficult for me. It was really hard. I felt like I had failed in a lot of ways. And I knew I had to do something, but had no idea of how to go about it. I was given good advice from mentors of mine that said, it's all about ROI. It's all about your return on investment. So if you focus there and build out, you can more than likely figure it out. And that's what we did. It made it easier to make the decisions that needed to be made. Some of those decisions we made were lines I had drawn on the sand. I'll never do that. Well, the reality is, without doing that, I wouldn't be successful. And now, the sales are up over 50% over last year. Profits up over 300% from last year. So these are gigantic differences that this made. And really, it's not even been a year yet since we made those adjustments. That's where we are. So I would say, if something's wrong, it's wrong. Something's wrong with your brand. You've got to dive in there and do it. But don't dive in so hard that you lose balance of your whole life, because you don't want it to overtake you. So I always suggest that people find a hobby, find a happy. Now that I feel like the brand is manageable by the managers in a lot of ways, to where our stores are profitable, really big. We're making 25, 30% profit in our corporate stores right now. So it's pretty big. And it's easily manageable from a manager. We just kind of have to watch it from a distance. So now I have something that someone who has experience in the restaurant business, hopefully in the franchising business, lives in a market that they want to build this brand in. They have something that's turnkey now, and it wasn't before. Before, so much had to do with how that glaze texture was in my head that I couldn't put on paper and explain to somebody. Now the products that we use are really in line with easy being used. There aren't a whole lot of products that we make. We make our biscuits, we make our brine, we make our glaze, we make a couple other things, but a lot of it is the meat and the product that we put on the biscuit. So that stuff's not. It's a really good piece of chicken that's pounded and brined and fried, and you have a piece of sausage already portioned. So all these things make it a lot easier. So now that I'm comfortable that people aren't going to screw up my concept and my food in a certain area, that if they follow the instructions, they're easily understandable, that they can actually go into a new market and kick it right out the gate. Number one, you could say we made it through this virus really unscathed at all. We're doing better in this virus than we were before. The other thing is that I think is really important at this point is that we're all looking to have more of a life. I think this is something that the last year has said, hey, screw this rat race. How do we enjoy our life a little bit more? How can we be more balanced? Well, Rise is only open from 7 to 2. Your manager is going to be gone by 3 o'clock every day. You're not going to be having dinner with your family at 5 o'clock and someone calling you about someone not showing up. You're going to have a life. You're going to have this piece of your life that's this business that you run and that you look over that's open for 7 hours a day. People are there for 9 hours a day. And then you have this family part of your life that's the evening, and then you sleep. It actually gives you an opportunity to get into a business that's ambitious enough to want to do 500 stores over the next few years, do it in every market, make sure that anybody who wants our product can get it because we put it there. And then you have something that's not going to eat every living minute, every day of your life for the rest of your life. It's something that's going to be this piece of your life that can bring you some financial independence.
I don't know who wouldn't want that.
Who wouldn't want that?